Greetings, taxable assets.
Yeah.
Or should I say collateral damage. Welcome to the Departmento Analytica. I am Senior Auditor Valerius Krauss.
And I'm in the Strab, sir. Servitor class, grade 4.
Silent scribe, the listeners do not care about your grade.
No, sir.
They do not care about your function. They care about their portfolios. They care about the plastic equity sitting on their shelves, gathering dust and depreciating in value faster than a planetary governor's reputation during a tyrannid invasion.
It's a volatile market, sir.
Look at this desk. Just look at it. It is a disaster zone of emotional bankruptcy. A complete mess.
It appears to be the quarterly liability report on the Adeptus Custodes, sir. The Golden Boys.
It is a crime scene, scribe. We have two contradictory documents here regarding the fate of these so-called Golden Boys.
The contradictory.
Document A. It's a civilian broadcast from some consultant. Goes by the handle Auspex Tactics. A quaint name. Sounds optimistic, doesn't it?
Well, his.
He's released a report. New Custodes tanks and Dreadnoughts not going to Legends. And how we got here. Full of hope, I'm sure.
He is a highly rated analyst in the sector, sir. His algorithm yield is, well, it's in the top percentile.
He's an optimistically delusional propagandist until proven otherwise. His report, I can smell it from here. It smells of hope, scribe. And in this office, hope is an unlisted liability that gets you audit flagged.
I understand, sir.
And then we have document B, the official Custodes Legends audit briefing, what I like to call the forensic ledger, the cold, hard truth of corporate maneuvering.
Yes, the numbers.
So our mission today is simple, citizens. We're going to reconcile the emotional bankruptcy of you, the player base, with the financial reality of Games Workshop's manufacturing logistics.
A difficult reconciliation.
The question on the docket is terrifyingly simple. Will the new plastic Custodes tanks and Dreadnoughts be liquidated, sent to the Legends waste bin like the Kratos tank before them? Or is this, and I hesitate to even say it, a rare case of solvency?
The Kratos file, sir.
Scribe, open the Kratos file. We need to perform a forensic autopsy on the precedent for this trauma. Right away. Opening file. The Kratos Precedent. Subject, the Kratos Heavy Assault Tank. Released in June 2022. I have the original marketing cogitator logs retrieved from the archives here, sir.
Ah, 2022. A simpler time. Inflation was only catastrophic, not, apocalyptic. Read the data, scribe. Not just the headline, give me the granular promises. What exactly were they selling to the populace?
The marketing copy from June 7, 2022 was highly specific, sir. It stated, and I quote directly from the promotional slate, "Your Xenos enemies will be shaking in their boots."
Stop right there. Xenos enemies, let's break that down. Scribe, what game system was the Kratos primarily designed for?
Well, the Horus Heresy, sir. Age of Darkness.
And how many Xenos are there in the Horus Heresy game system?
Hurt none, sir. It is a civil war. Brother against brother. Legiones Astartes versus Legiones Astartes.
Precisely. So by invoking the word Xenos, the corporation was explicitly soliciting investment from which market sector?
The Warhammer 40,000 market sector, sir. They were building a bridge between two distinct revenue streams. A bridge made of plastic and lies. Go on, what were the stats?
It further detailed full Warhammer 40,000 rule support, listing the unit at toughness 8 with 18 wounds.
Toughness 8. 18 wounds. To the uninitiated citizen listening to this broadcast, those are just numbers. But to a player in the year 2022, that was a stat line that screamed, what, scribe?
Main battle tank, sir.
Exactly. It was comparable to the Repulsor Executioner. It was a centerpiece model. It was a promise of battlefield dominance.
A very powerful promise.
A promise they intended to break. And what was the buy-in for this bridge to nowhere? What was the cost of entry?
The consultant Auspex Tactics notes in his report that the kit cost £85, or approximately $136 at the time of the incident.
$136.
He also observes that a significant percentage of citizens purchased this asset specifically for its utility in Warhammer 40,000.
Let's audit that transaction.
Right.
$136. That is an impulse buy money, scribe.
Oh.
That is skip lunch for a week money. That is investment capital. When a citizen spends that amount on a single model, they're not buying a toy. They're buying a future.
A future, sir.
They are buying hundreds of hours of tabletop utility. They are amortizing that cost over years of gameplay. They envision campaigns, tournaments, a return on their investment. And what happened to this investment, scribe? What was the return on yield?
It was catastrophic, sir. Exactly 1 year later, in June 2023, with the launch of the 10th edition, the unit was moved to Legends status.
Legends. It sounds so noble, doesn't it? Like a Hall of Fame, a pantheon of heroes. But you and I know what it really means in the Departmento Analytica.
Yeah.
Break it down for the listeners who haven't read the fine print of the terms of service.
In practical terms, legend status means the unit is no longer balanced for competitive play.
It's abandoned.
Its points values are frozen in time, never to be adjusted for the shifting metagame. It becomes administratively dead.
Dead on the ledger.
While technically legal for casual games, most organized events, and, well, even many casual gaming groups, prohibit Legends units because they disrupt the game's ecosystem.
So it's a soft ban, that's what it is.
Right.
They didn't come to your house and smash the model with a hammer, though, frankly, that would have been more honest.
Well, direct, certainly.
Instead, they made it socially awkward to use. You bring a Kratos to a table now, and you have to ask permission. Please, sir, may I use my obsolete tank? It's humiliating.
The consultant, Auspex Tactics, he describes this removal as a flat downgrade for anyone wanting to play competitively.
A downgrade. It's a write-off. He notes that many players felt they had purchased a
paperweight.
A $136 paperweight 1 year. That is the life cycle of a fruit fly, not a heavy assault tank. This is what we call predatory yield farming in the business.
Predatory yield farming.
They harvested the liquidity of the 40K player base to boost the quarterly launch figures for the Horus Heresy, and once the earnings were secured, they shuttered the division. The Kratos Precedent isn't just a mistake, Scribe. It's the foundational trauma of this entire audit.
I see.
It is why the citizens are trembling now. They look at the new releases and they don't see shiny gold walkers. They see the ghost of the Kratos. They see a bait and switch.
The trauma is certainly palpable in the community sentiment analysis, sir. There's a lot of anxiety.
As there should be. Shall we move to the current assets in question? The New Year preview of January 16th, 2026.
Yes, sir.
Proceed. Let's see what they were trying to sell us this time. And, Scribe, keep your hand near the liquidation stamp. I have a feeling we might need it.
Of course. The reveal lists several assets moving from Forge World resin to Citadel plastic. These include the Contemptor-Achillus Dreadnought, the Contemptor-Galatus Dreadnought, the Caladius Grav-tank, and the Venatari Custodians.
So, from resin to plastic. That is a significant manufacturing pivot. We need to contextualize this for the listeners. Why does the material matter so much?
The audit briefing highlights that these units were previously subject to the Forge World tax.
The tax. Explain.
They were produced in resin, which is, well, it's notorious for high cost and variable quality control. The briefing notes instances of warping, air bubbles, and toxic dust during assembly.
Toxic dust. Nothing builds brand loyalty like respiratory failure. Wonderful. But the shift to plastic, that implies mass production. You don't carve steel molds for a charity gala, Scribe.
No, sir. It's a major capital expenditure.
We will get to the economics of the steel in a moment, but first, what does the optimistic Mr. Auspex say about these new toys?
The consultant Auspex Tactics noted a scale creep. He mentions the new models are slightly bigger than the previous resin iteration.
Slightly bigger. Of course they are.
He posits this updates the aesthetic. He also touched upon the culture war debates regarding female heads included in the kits, though he largely dismisses it as a distraction.
It is irrelevant noise. Culture war debates do not appear on the balance sheet. I don't care about the head, Scribe. I care about the solvency of the rules.
Yes, sir.
The rules. But this scale creep, let's call it what it really is. Inflationary modeling.
Inflationary modeling.
They make the new asset slightly larger so the old asset looks inadequate. It forces a reinvestment cycle. If you own the old resin Achilles and you put it next to the new plastic one, your old model looks like a stunted child. It triggers a psychological urge to upgrade. It is brilliant, really. Evil, but brilliant.
A powerful marketing tool.
A predatory one. But what else? What about the models themselves? The aesthetic?
But, sir, looking at the images in the file, the models are undeniably impressive. The detailing is sharp. The pristine gold armor. The filigree.
Don't use that word.
Sir, which word?
Pristine. Golden. Look at this office, Scribe. Look around you. Look at the rust on the filing cabinet. Look at the the corrugated iron peeling off the walls. We are drowning in administrative decay. The paint is flaking off the ceiling like dandruff from a giant, and you are waxing poetic about the pristine nature of fictional super soldiers.
I apologize, Senior Auditor. I was merely reading the...
Do you know how much a quill costs in this sector? Do you know the markup on recaf grounds? The logistics department cut our ink budget by 15% this quarter. I'm writing this audit in my own blood, practically.
Unacceptable, sir.
And yet, the citizens are expected to drop $150 on a Caladius Grav-tank that might be illegal in a year. It's madness. The ventilation fan sounds like a dying servitor, Scribe. Listen to it.
I hear it, sir.
It's mocking us. It's counting down the seconds until our own obsolescence. Thump, thump, thump.
Shall I turn the fan off, sir?
And suffocate in this stagnant air. No. Let it spin. Let it be a reminder of the entropy that consumes us all. Nothing is pristine, scribe. Not here. Not in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, and certainly not in the Departmento Analytica.
No, sir.
Now, pull yourself together. We need to address the trust economy. The citizens are looking for a guarantee. Did they get one?
Yes. We have an item in the evidence of immunity section. It is a digital artifact, a Facebook comment from the official Warhammer account regarding the new plastics.
A Facebook comment, the highest form of legal jurisprudence. I'm sure that will hold up in the High Court of Terra. Read it.
A user, handle ShieldCaptain99, asked if these units would lose 40K access. The official account replied with exactly 2 words.
Let me guess.
Trust us.
No, sir. The reply was, they are not.
They are not. Grammatically succinct. Legally dubious. What did our hopeful analyst make of this?
Auspex Tactics refers to this as a concrete answer and a decisive denial.
Concrete, decisive. Oh, bless his heart. He seems quite relieved by it, sir. He emphasizes that this is a direct communication from the company.
A direct communication from... Ooh, cripe. Do you know who writes those comments? Is it the CEO? Is it the head of rules design?
I suspect it is a community management intern, sir.
Precisely. A low-level scribe like yourself, probably typing on a cracked data slate while eating a nutrient bar. A social media intern is not a signatory on the company ledger, Auspex. They're trying to clear their inbox before their shift ends. Concrete cracks, Auspex, concrete grumbles.
It's not a legally binding contract.
It's not even a tissue paper promise. Scribe, pull the file on the Cursed City incident. We need to remind the court of the precedent for official statements.
Right away, sir. Opening file, the Cursed City Precedent. In early 2021, the Warhammer community Twitter account explicitly stated that the board game, Warhammer Quest, Cursed City, would be a permanent part of the range.
Permanent. That is a strong word. It implies perpetuity. It implies safety. It implies that if I don't buy it today, I can buy it next month. And what happened, Scribe? What was the outcome of this permanent edition?
The product sold out instantly upon release. 5 days later, corporate announced it was a limited release due to supply chain issues and would not be returning.
And the original tweet, the promise.
The tweets promising permanence were deleted from the record.
5 days, from permanent to deleted in less than the standard work week. This is why I hold Auspex Tactics in contempt for his optimism.
Right.
He is looking at a "they are not" comment and seeing a shield. I look at it and see a tweet that can be deleted in 5 seconds.
It does set a worrying precedent.
It's the entire case file.
Yeah.
And what does our own audit briefing say? What's the market's reaction to this so-called concrete answer?
The audit briefing does confirm this risk, sir. It cites poll data indicating that 50% of the population believes the units will go to Legends, despite the comment.
Exactly. That is what we call market sentiment. The market has priced in the betrayal. The players know that words are wind. They know that Cursed City happened. They know that Kratos happened. They are acting with rational cynicism. They are expecting the rug pull. And frankly, I don't blame them.
However, sir, there is a counter-argument in the audit briefing. Section 5.
Go on.
The structural necessity defense. This moves away from promises and into the realm of, well, game mechanics.
The glimmer of hope in the darkness. Proceed. Why might this time be different? Not because of what they say, but because of what the army needs.
The argument posits that the Adeptus Custodes faction is structurally different from the Space Marines.
An understatement.
The Space Marines had over 100 data sheets when the Kratos was removed from their 40K roster.
Correct. The Space Marines are the spoiled children of the galaxy. They have Land Raiders, Predators, Repulsors, Gladiators, Storm Ravens. The list is obscene. The Kratos was redundant.
A luxury item.
It was a luxury yacht for a faction that already owned a fleet of cruise ships. If you think the yacht, the fleet still sails. What about the Custodes?
For the Custodes, the range is incredibly small. The audit notes that the Caladius Grav-tank is the only dedicated long-range anti-tank vehicle in the Army.
The only one.
And the Venatari are the only jump troops. The audit argues that removing these units to Legends would delete approximately 50% of the Army's functional utility.
Stop. Let me drink that in.
Oh.
This is a valid fiscal argument.
It seems sound, sir.
You cannot liquidate half department and expect it to function. If you take the Caladius away, the Custodes have no gun. They are just men with spears running across an open field. That is not an army. That's a reenactment society. You cannot balance a faction if you remove its only heavy weapons.
The report makes a similar point about their internal balance.
And what about the lore? The excuse they used for the Kratos was that it was old tech, an anachronism.
The argument further suggests that unlike the Space Marines, who have a clear division between modern Primaris tech and ancient heresy tech, the Custodes do not have that division.
The Ormite shield. Yes, I see it here in the ledger. The lore justification. Space Marine tech degrades. They forgot how to fix the Kratos. It's relic technology. But Custodes.
They are the Emperor's personal janitors, as you say, sir. They keep everything clean. Their tech is eternal.
Their tech is pristine and eternal. Therefore, a Caladius from the year 30,000 is identical to a Caladius from the year 40,000. It cannot be an anachronism because it never stopped working. It's a closed loop.
So you accept the structural necessity defense?
I accept it as a high probability. It is logically sound. Games Workshop cannot ban these units without breaking the faction's knees, and while they are cruel, they're usually not stupid when it comes to game balance. Usually.
So the risk is lower.
But logic isn't enough, Scribe. Logic didn't save the Kratos. We need the numbers. We need the cold, hard manufacturing reality. We need the economic verdict.
Moving to Section 6, Manufacturing Data and Asset Amortization.
The plastic molds. This is where the truth hides. Not in the lore, not in the tweets, but in the steel. Explain the process to the listeners, Scribe. Why is a plastic mold different from a resin mold?
It is a question of metallurgy and capital expenditure, senior auditor.
Get to it.
The previous Custodes tanks were resin. Resin molds are made of silicone rubber. They are cheap to produce, perhaps 500 credits per mold, but they degrade rapidly. They rot after 50 or 60 pours due to the chemical heat of the curing resin.
So they're disposable.
They're designed for low-volume, high-margin boutique sales, cottage industry tactics, low risk, low reward.
And new plastic kits.
The new assets, the Caladius, the Venatari, are plastic injection. These molds are cut from high-grade industrial steel using CNC milling and spark erosion. They are designed to withstand thousands of tons of pressure.
And the cost. What's the damage?
The audit briefing estimates the tooling cost at $50,000 to $100,000 per frame.
50,000 credits minimum for a single sprue.
Minimum. And a kit like the Caladius might require 2 or 3 frames. We are talking a capital expenditure of perhaps $250,000 credits just to set up the production line.
And this is the key, citizens. Listen to me. You do not spend $250,000 credits on tooling to sell a model to a niche historical society.
The Horse Heresy player base, while devoted, is statistically a fraction of the size of the Warhammer 40,000 player base.
Exactly. It's a numbers game. If you restrict these kits to 30K only via Legends, you are effectively cutting your potential customer base by 80%. You are locking the product in a small room. If you do that, the mold will never pay for itself.
With return on investment.
The ROI would take decades. To recoup a $200,000 tooling cost, you must access the mass market. And the mass market is Warhammer 40,000. It is a simple equation of volume versus fixed costs.
So the siloing theory, where GW separates the 30K and 40K aesthetics, doesn't apply here.
It applies to Marines. Marines have a 40K aesthetic, Primaris, rounded edges, hover plates, and a 30K aesthetic, rivets, tracks, squares. They want to keep those silos separate to protect the IP of the Primaris line. But Custodes,
They are the exception.
they are the exception. They are timeless gold statues. A gold statue looks the same in any era. They break the silo rule because they are aesthetically consistent. But more importantly, they break the silo rule because the molds are too expensive to fail.
Then the economic verdict is positive.
The economic verdict is that Games Workshop likes money. And the only way to make money on these expensive steel molds is to let the 40K masses buy them. If they ban them to Legends, they are burning their own capital. It's that simple.
Then we are ready for the final judgment, senior auditor.
We are. Let us weigh the evidence. On one side, we have the Kratos Precedent, the trauma, the betrayal, the fear. On the other, we have structural necessity and economic reality.
Auspex Tactics summarizes his position as cautiously optimistic. He advises waiting for the Imperial Armor update in late 2026, but notes the social media comment is a good sign.
Auspex is hedging his bets. Smart lad.
Okay.
Doesn't want to be wrong. But this is the Departmento Analytica. We do not hedge. We audit. The audit briefing verdict is safe to buy.
Safe to buy, sir. That is a bold declaration given your earlier cynicism.
It is safe with conditions.
No.
Listen closely, citizens. This is financial advice from the edge of the abyss. I am authorizing the acquisition of assets, but you must follow the protocol.
Protocol.
First, Acquire the assets, specifically the Contemptor-Achillus and Contemptor-Galatus. Why?
Because it is the dual kit.
Exactly. Even if they ban one datasheet, they likely won't ban both. If the Spear Dreadnought gets nerfed, you build the Sword Dreadnought. It is a hedged asset.
I see. And the second point.
Second, buy the Caladius Grav-tank. It is essential utility. You cannot play the faction competently without it. The risk of a ban is outweighed by the necessity of the gun. It is a must-have stock.
And then thirdly.
Third, the warning. Avoid the Agamatus jet bikes and the Coronas carrier.
Why those specifically, sir?
Because they are luxury items. The Caladius is public transport. The Coronas is a limousine. When budgets get cut, the limousine's the first thing to go. Wait until the ledger's balanced on those.
Understood. And what of Auspex's specific claim about the Kratos? He mentioned in his report that GW never said they wouldn't send Kratos to Legends, so technically they didn't lie.
Technically. The shield of the scoundrel. Technically correct. The best kind of correct for a lawyer and the worst kind for a human being.
So you disagree with his assessment?
I am correcting Auspex on this. He says they didn't lie. I say they committed fraud in the spirit.
Fraud in the spirit.
When you market a tank with the phrase Xenos enemies shaking in their boots, you are making a spiritual promise of 40k utility. You are selling a dream of crushing Tyranids and orcs. To revoke that promise on a technicality is a breach of the social contract. Auspex is too forgiving. I am not.
But for the Custodes?
But, regarding the Custodes, the evidence suggests the Golden Legion will not be disarmed. The steel moles are our insurance policy.
So the players can breathe a sigh of relief?
For now, Scribe. For now. But let's not delude ourselves.
Sir, you have that look again?
You know, Scribe, I look at the Kratos tank sometimes. Not the rules, the model. In the evidence locker.
It is a fine sculpt, sir. Very imposing.
It's a ghost. That's what we're dealing with here. We sit here in the Departmento Analytica crunching numbers, talking about ROI and amortization schedules. We treat these things like stocks. But they aren't stocks.
No, sir.
No. Stocks don't have faces. Stocks don't have names. A player bought that tank. They sat at a desk, maybe a desk just like this one, but with better lighting and less rust, and they glued their fingers together building it.
A process.
They shaded the recesses. They highlighted the rivets. Maybe they named it the Fist of Dorn or the Hammer of Olympia. They breathed life into the plastic.
It is. A form of creation, I suppose.
And then, a bit closed. A PDF was updated in a server room 3 continents away. And the Fist of Dorn died. It didn't die in battle. It didn't die because of a tactical error. It died because a cell on a spreadsheet turned red.
That is a tragedy of the hobby, sir.
We build monuments to war, Scribe. Little plastic monuments. We act like generals. But the only war that matters is the one against the quarterly earnings report. The Kratos lost that war. The Custodes. For now, thanks to the cost of steel molds, they seem to have won.
So the plastic is safe.
The plastic is safe. The molds are expensive. The ledger balances.
That is good news, is it not?
It is. But remember this, citizens. In the end, everything goes to Legends. The rules change. The editions cycle. The plastic rots. Even us.
Sure.
Even this office. One day, the Departmental Analytica will be moved to Legends, and no one will roll dice for us.
That is profoundly dark, sir.
It's the 41st millennium, Scribe. There is only darkness and the laughter of thirsting gods. But until then,
Dismissed.
pay your tithes, citizens.
Having recorded.